Hey, what is going on, guys? Thanks for checking out this video on my sports Gematria. In this video, I am going to go over best album of the year for the 63rd annual Grammy Awards for Sunday, March 14th, 2021. I'm going to show you all 8 contestants or all 8 albums, and it's going to be up to you to determine who you think will win based on the numbers. I encourage you to add additional information on top of this if needed for you to feel confident in your own pick. And if for some reason you're curious to know who I am picking, it's not going to matter because I'm not going to put this on my Patreon as a pick. I'm just going to tell you in this video who I'm going to pick to win Album of the Year. So I wish you guys the best of luck in your picks on this, and let's go ahead and get into it. So the Grammys nominee list. I'm going to go to the general field. We're going to be looking at Album of the Year. These are going to be our choices here. So let's go through them. I have my daily numbers on this side, Gregorian date numerology, Hebrew date numerology for March 14th, Sunday. And then on this side, the way that I have this set up is I have the basic information of the event. So 3/14, 14/3, it's the Gregorian date. Recording Academy Grammy Awards Gematria, Grammy Awards Gematria, Annual Grammy Awards Gematria, Grammy Gematria, The Grammys Gematria. Location, Staples Center, Los Angeles. This is the 63rd event, and there's a total of 83 categories at this event. And then for this particular one, we are looking at Album of the Year, the Gematria right here. And then I have the album, the length of the album, when it was released, the distance to the Grammys from release, the artist, their Gematria, and then their age and distance from to and from birthday. That's how I have it set up. And I have it set up like that for every single one of them. Album, release, length, artist, album, release, length, artist, so on and so forth. And so we'll get into each and every one of them. Alright, so let's start with the first one here. Based on the odds that I found, this is a plus 2,000 underdog. Chilombo is the album. The artist is Jean Aiko. I don't know if I'm pronouncing that right. But let's just see what numbers connect here. So we're looking at this album. The album's called Chilombo. Chilombo sums to 77. Grammy sums to 77. This is taking place at Staples Center, sums to 77. Chilombo also sums to 41, the 13th prime number. It does have 13 date numerology on the Gregorian. The length of this album is 63 minutes and 26 seconds. Emphasis on the 63. This is the 63rd event for the Grammys. And the album was released on March 6th, 2021. So that could be written 3/6 or 6/3. So we have this little 63 pattern here. Length of the album, the release of the album. 373 days, or a total span of 374 days since the release. 373 is an interesting number because it's a prime number. 373 is the 74th prime. I just didn't see anything that stuck out to me on it. The artist, Jean Aiko, 78, 42, 165. Today has 22 date numerology, 165, 78, 42. And then her name sums to 48 as well. The Grammys sums to 48. She's coming up on her 33rd birthday, or a total span of 3 days till her 33rd birthday. So this is one entry for Album of the Year, Chilombo. So we see that she has the 77 and the 41, length 63. But with this here, I wouldn't pick Jean Aiko for Album of the Year. Numbers are interesting, but let's get into the other contestants. Next one is Black Pumas. Black Pumas. The album's called Black Pumas. The artist is called Black Pumas. It's a band of 2 people So I pulled the individual name and his birthday, and then the other guy, which I couldn't find his birthday, just his age. He was born in 77. He was born in the year 77. Staples Center, 77. Grammy, 77. Eric Burton is another guy in Black Pumas. It's 158 days since his 31st birthday, and he is coming up, which is in between. Excuse me, he's in between his 31st birthday, but he could get his 32nd birthday here in 207 days. I couldn't find a number connection for 207 or 208. Basically, what I'm getting at is the word Grammy sums to 32 and 31. Grammy sums to 77, and his partner was born in the year 77. He's currently 31 years old. 158 days ago, he'll be 32 sometime this year. Probably October 7th, if I had to guess. Herpty derp. 32, though, sums to 158. And it also sums to 85. And Grammy sums to 85. 158 days. 32, 85, 31. He's 31 years old. 158 days since his 31st birthday. Couldn't find anything with the 207, 208. But he will be 32 years old this year. But the big thing for me on this one is the Black Pumas. Their name and the album is the same. 99, 27, 63. 99, 27, 63. Today is the first day of the first month on the Hebrew religious side, like an 11, like 1 1 and 11. The number 11 sums to 63, 27, 99. 63, 27, 99. 63, 27, 99. This is the 63rd Grammy Awards. And the album Black Pumas was released in 2019. This being the 633rd day of its release, the day of the Grammys. So that's a big 63 right there for the release of the album. Their album is named after them, their band or whatever. Has 63 in the name, 9927. It is the 63rd event for Grammys. The album length is 39:41. Today with 22 date numerology, 22 sums to 31, or 39, excuse me. 13 date numerology, 41 is a 13th prime. And Adrian Quesada, who's in the band, he sums to 115, and it has 58 date numerology, 115. So that's about as far as I got with these guys. So I do like it being, knowing that it's the 633rd day since its release. A big 6-3 at the 63rd Grammys. That's interesting. And then their name sums to 63. I think that's fascinating. If I had to choose between these two, I would say I would choose Black Pumas over Chilombo. But let's keep it going. Everyday Life album by Coldplay. 53:35 is the length. So Everyday Life sums to 137. And this is the Grammys, which sums to 48. And I know 48 sums to 137. So maybe there's a connection there, maybe there's not. Either way, Everyday Life is potential nominee for Album of the Year at the Grammys. 48 sums to 137. Coldplay, the word Coldplay sums to 38, it having 38 date numerology on the Gregorian. Also 22 date numerology on the Gregorian. 22 sums to 165. The lead singer, Chris Martin of Coldplay, his name sums to 165. It's 12, or total span of 13 days since his 44th birthday. Today with 13 date numerology on the Gregorian. It's the 13th day of his current age. But the 12 is interesting too, because this is taking place in Los Angeles, which sums to 37, the 12th prime number. Staples Center, 157, the 37th prime number. I don't think Coldplay is going to win Album of the Year. There's not enough numbers here for me to get real excited about. Not like it is with the 63 or 633. 633rd day of its release. The album 63, the artist is 63. It's the same thing, but it's the 63rd event. I don't think Coldplay would win. Between the three, as of right now, I would still pick Black Pumas, but we still got more to look at. Next one, DJ Essie, Volume 3. Now, when I pulled the Gematria for this, I added the number 3 because it only did that. I had to pull the Gematria for DJ Essie Volume, and then I added the number 3. And so in doing that, we see that the album sums to 135, and Recording Academy Grammy Awards sums to 135. This album is exactly 41 minutes long. Today being the 13th day of the Gregorian, or excuse me, today has 13 date numerology on the Gregorian, 41 the 13th prime number. DJS Volume 3 sums to 33, and the number 33 sums to 141. The Grammys sums to 141. And Jacob Collier, which is the artist, it's 141 days till his next birthday. So I thought that was kind of interesting. Jacob Collier, his name does sum to 51, and the Grammys also sums to 51. So his name sums to 51. It's 141 days till his next birthday. His album sums to 33. 33 sums to 141. His album also sums to 135. Recording Academy, Grammy Awards, 135. Perfect 41-minute long album. 41 the 13th prime. They have in 13 date numerology on the Gregorian. I don't think he's going to win Album of the Year. I think the numbers are pretty cool. Out of the 4 so far, I still give it to Black Pumas with that 633. On the 633rd day of its album, and the 63 of the name for the 63rd. Looks pretty cool so far. But we still got more to go. So who's the next contestant? Haim. Haim consists of 3 sisters. There's 3 of them. Danielle Haim, Esther Haim, and Alana Haim. Danielle is the lead singer, so I just went ahead and pulled her birthday, her age, to and from. I didn't see anything significant. She is 32 years old. The word Grammy sums to 32. But her name, Danielle Haim, sums to 93. 93 sums to 143. And it being, March 14th day of March, 14/3. 3/14. And then also her name sums to 231. 231 is the 21st triangular number. Today being 14/3, 13/4, or 14/3, 3/14, if I can talk correctly. It's also the 73rd day of the year, 73 the 21st prime number, so she has that 21 connection. The artists themselves, which is their last name, Haim, sums to 31 and 77. Grammy sums to 77 and 31. It also sums to 22, and today has 22 date numerology on the Gregorian. The album is called Women in Music, excuse, I cannot talk today. Women in Music Part 3, and of course I added the 3. Comes out to be 197, the 45th prime. Today with 13 date numerology, 13 sums to 45. Sums to 71 as well. Annual Grammy Awards sums to 71. This is the first day of the 7th month on the Hebrew Civil. And then the album also sums to 79, the 22nd prime. Haim, their name sums to 22. They have in 22 date numerology. Now this is the closest thing out of all the contestants to come to Album of the Year. It's the 262nd day since the release of the album. 262 is an anagram of 226. Album of the Year sums to 226. So with that being said, I think this particular album is competitive against the Black Pumas, 633. So it's between Black Pumas and now Haim would be my second choice so far. I have to go with this. Let's keep it moving. So the next one will be Dua Lipa. Artist, the album is Future Nostalgia. Future Nostalgia sums to 63, this being the 63rd Grammy event. It's the 353rd day since the album release. 353 sums to is the 71st prime number. Today, the first day of the 7th month. This being the annual Grammy Awards 71. Her length of the album, 37 minutes and 17 seconds. I have that 17 highlighted for the 1/7. Also, the 37 is very relevant. Staples Center, 157, the 37th prime. Los Angeles, 37. I didn't see anything offhand with her name, Dua Lipa, but it is a total span of 162 days till her next birthday, and Recording Academy Grammy Awards sums to 162. So I like that Future Nostalgia sums to 63, and I like that it's this 353rd day since the release, which is the 71st prime number. Annual Grammy Awards sums to 71. First day of the 17th month on the Hebrew Civil. The length of the album, 37:17, has connections. I would actually choose this over the other two. I would choose that over Haim, and I would choose it over Black Pumas. So right now, Future Nostalgia is now my number one pick. 353, 63. Length of the album, 37:17. I like those connections. I wish I had more with the artist, though. Except for the 162. I wish there was more here. Maybe you guys see something that I'm not. But let's keep it going. Now we have Post Malone, Hollywood's Bleeding. So this album, funny enough, I really like this connection. Hollywood, I like this album, not physically to listen to, but the numbers that I'm seeing here. So anyway, Hollywood's Bleeding sums to 206 and 280. Annual Grammy Awards sums to 206 and 280. The length of this album is 50 minutes and 56 seconds. This is the 556th day since the release. How cool is that? 50 minutes and 56 seconds. It's the 556th day since its release, the night of the Grammys. Post Malone sums to 50, and he creates an album with 50 minutes, 56 seconds, and it just so happens to be on the 556th day of its release is when the night of the Grammys are, where he could potentially win Album of the Year. Hollywood's Bleeding, 206, 280. Annual Grammy Awards, 206, 280. I like that connection. Post Malone, it's the 253rd day of his current age. 253 is the 22nd triangular number. Today having 22 date numerology on the Gregorian. I would actually choose this over Future Nostalgia. Even though Future Nostalgia, that's pretty good. But that 556 is fascinating to me. The length of the album, 5056, 556 days since its release, 206, 280, 206, 280. Did they just make this album strictly for the Grammys? Like, what the heck? This is bizarre. I do like Post Malone. I'm not convinced he'll win though. Let's go to the next one. Taylor Swift. So this is actually my pick. I'm picking Taylor Swift to win Folklore. I think she is the favorite. Yeah, she's a minus 250 favorite. Post Malone is a plus 600. Future Nostalgia is a plus 300. So Future Nostalgia would actually be ranked second when it comes to the odds. And everything else is like a plus 2,000. Yeah, 2,000, 2,000, 2,000. So realistically, Future Nostalgia has a real shot here based on the odds that they're telling us. Post Malone would actually be in the third spot based on the odds is what they're telling us. But the last one here, Folklore by Taylor Swift. I think Taylor Swift is really connected. She's a favorite in this. But I think it's for good reason based off numbers. So her album Folklore sums to 41, the 13th prime number, today with 13 date numerology on the Gregorian. It's exactly 63 minutes and 29 seconds. 63 in reference to this being the 63rd event. It's 233, or a total span of 234 days since the release of the album. 233 is significant because 233 is the 51st. Here, I'll show you. 233. 233 is the 51st prime number, but it's also the 13th Fibonacci number. So the album Folklore, which sums to 41, the 13th prime, 233 days since the release, which is the 13th Fibonacci number, today with 13 date numerology on the Gregorian. Taylor Swift, she was born on the 13th day of December, and it's 91 days since her last birthday. 91, the 13th triangular number. So a very heavy 13 pattern here. And then with the 233, it is the 51st prime number as well. And Taylor Swift sums to 51 and 129. The Grammys sums to 129 and 51. And if Taylor Swift were to win this, she's already won it twice before. This would be her third time doing it. And she would also be the first woman to win this award, Album of the Year, 3 times. And I just made up a phrase, first woman to win the 3 times, which also sums to 129 and 141. The Grammys, 129 and 141. Taylor Swift, 51, 129. 233 days since the album. The 13th Fibonacci and the 51st prime. 51, Grammys, 51. Album Folklore, 41, the 13th prime. I think the 63-minute album that was released 233 days, 51st prime, is what's going to probably win the 63rd album, Grammys Album of the Year. You know, I really wanted something to connect to Album of the Year, Gematria, but I can see why Taylor Swift is the favorite here. I think it's pretty sly. 91, the 13th triangular, 51, 29, 233 days since. If it's not Taylor Swift, then it's got to be either Post Malone or Future Nostalgia. And I'd even actually hedge with Future Nostalgia. I like Post Malone's numbers. That's so gnarly, 556, 50, 56. But I think that's just, I don't think that's winner-based coding. I just think that's, I don't know. And that's the hard thing too, is I've never looked at stuff like this for like the Grammy, so I don't even know what a winning code looks like for the Grammys. And I've literally made up 8 different narratives here for 8 different contestants. So who knows what the winning narrative is really, but based on what's here, I don't think Post Malone will win it. He has some pretty cool numbers, but I don't think he'll win it. I think it most likely will be Taylor Swift and or Future Nostalgia, and I would probably just go ahead and pick, for this video, I'm going to go ahead and pick Taylor Swift Folklore to win Album of the Year. I hope you guys got a lot of information out of this. If you disagree with me, that's fine. If you agree with me, that's fine too. This is the first time I've ever done this. So we'll find out in about 7 days whether it was Taylor Swift or not. And, you know, it is what it is. If I lose, I don't really care. I just did this for fun, really. And these connections here are pretty interesting. Future Nostalgia 63, 350, 53, the 206, 280, 556, 50, 56, 41, 63 minutes long, 233 cents, the 51st prime, Taylor Swift 51, 129, the Grammys 51, 129. She could be the first woman to win 3 times, 129. Alright, well, hopefully this video helps. If you want a huge dark horse for an underdog, I would probably go with Puma, Black Pumas. That would be my huge plus 2,000 dark horse, maybe, potentially. Outside of that, it will be between Taylor Swift and Dua Lipa, I don't know how to say her name. Taylor Swift, it's going to be a woman that wins, would be my guess. I don't think Post Malone's going to do it, even though his numbers are way freaking cool. I just can't get over that 556, 50, 56, the length of the album. 206, 280, 206, 280. I mean, what were they doing? Sitting in the studio, like, hey, we got to release the album at this day and time. It's got to be Hollywood's Bleeding. It's got to be exactly 50:56 long. I mean, what? It almost seems. It doesn't seem like humans can do this stuff, is what I'm getting at. I don't think this is man made. It just doesn't seem like it's too perfect to be man made. But we'll see. All right, thanks for watching.